Trading 212 has a good set of options where you can buy Zetra gold. This is something like physical gold held by Zetra. Zetra is a German exchange. They have this physical gold, and if you have like a kilogram of gold, you have the right to actually get it sent to you. So this is a tax-free option. So you can simply invest in it, just set it and forget it. So this is a good option. This was one of the reasons that I started investing using Trading 212. And the second reason is that I was thinking of the Fora Pauschale, right? The ETF tax that you have to pay on realized gains on ETFs. So this is something you have to consider if you are having a broker, a German broker actually, like a Scalable Capital Trade Republic. This is something that you'll have to pay in tax in advance. So it's better that you use some softwares or look at some formulas to calculate how much ETF tax you'll have to pay, because this amount is cut in the first few days of January. For most people, if they don't have a huge portfolio, this amount is automatically cut using the tax-free allowance that you have. So you don't have to worry. But if someone has 100K plus portfolio on ETFs, then you might have to add some funds on your scalable capital account so that you pay the full amount of taxes. But it depends on what kinds of ETFs you have and how much growth it has seen. So that was one of the reasons why I started investing in Trading 212 as well, because of this SPY function. Obviously, it's quite similar to scalable capital, but it's very easy to set up. So here I have a pie where I'm investing in European stocks. So I can easily set up the percentage of a specific stock. For example, here I'm investing in Sanofi at a weight of 6%, BASF at a weightage of 5%, Adidas with 5, Bayer with 5, Air Liquide with 5%, Unilever, Philips, Schneider, ThyssenKrupp, Tetra Gold, and like these are European companies that I'm investing in. It's a custom ETF that I've made based on European companies. I automatically just invest a small amount every single week. So this ETF runs, I would say I'm buying 50 euros every single week. This savings plan runs every single Friday and it's done automatically. So here, if I'm investing in these companies, I don't have to pay any ETF tax because all of these are simply single stocks. And this option, which is provided by Trading 212, it's not an ETF per se, and it's just an executing option, but it's relatively easy for me to change the percentage. Like I can easily move it to this with just a slider, and at the end of the day, it's quite easy for me. That was one of the main reasons of investing using Trading 212. So in Trading 212, I have two pies. One is this Euro stocks. It's also based not directly but somewhat on the Euro stocks index. I've taken some companies, done some research, and based on that, I'm investing 50 euros every single month. And then this Ahsan Finance pie, where I'm investing mostly on American stocks, which are, like, I would say the top 10 companies in the IT sector. So, like, obviously, Mercedes Benz is not there, and certain other companies are not there, but like, that's the reason of me, like, actually investing in these individual stocks, but again, having a pie or a function where I just add a certain amount and that's it. So I don't have to worry about changing the percentages every quite often. For example, I had a really high percentage with Tesla. I would say in the starting it was like 30 to 35%, but then it was way out of whack because it was too much concentration with one company, sorry. So I reduce this amount so that there's more of a balancing thing going on with this ETF. So for example, right now, Alphabet is also very highly weighted. So I might decrease it from like 10% to 4 or 5% so that there's a balance. But then it all depends on how things are going, how my research is done on that specific company. But right now, I don't think I'll be reducing Alphabet because I see a lot of potential, especially with Alphabet and Amazon. I think in the next few months, or like Alphabet has seen a lot of growth in the past few months. Like this year, it's gone, I don't know how much. So I would say, why is it not showing? About 71% in this year alone. So I don't, but I think it'll definitely go higher in my personal opinion because of Gemini and stuff like that. And Amazon hasn't seen that much this year, but I would still think this would be a good pick for me at least. So this is something that's quite important to think that with individual stocks, you have to do your research. One thing that I have to mention is that they are not connected with the German finance arm. So if someone is investing using trading 212, they'll have to do their own taxes. Let me see the files that I have. They do give you an overview of the dividends that you get, and based on that, you can definitely add all of that information in your, for example, net dividends, this amount, gross dividends, withheld tax, adjusted tax, and these can be easily added in a tax return software. For example, in WunderTax, there are options where you can simply add these options, these numbers, and that's it. You don't have to do much. I'll probably make a video next year to cover these things when I'm covering tax returns, like probably January, February of next year. But one thing which is quite dangerous with this app is that it's going to be very difficult for you to declare ETF taxes because of the Fora Pauschale. I don't recommend anyone to buy ETFs right now with trading 212 because of this option which is not available, and I'm not sure how would one like actually cover ETFs with trading 212. I've talked to people with trading 212. They have said that connection with the finance arm is one of their highest priorities actually. So they have said that they would have a connection with the finance arm by the first quarter of 2026. So I'm hoping they have a connection so it's easier for people to buy ETFs. But I don't think it's a wise idea to buy ETFs using trading 212 at this moment. If someone is interested, they can simply look at these things. I'm scrolling very slowly so that you can have a look at it. So right now I have 3% Tesla, 3% SAP, Qualcomm, Novo Nordisk, International, IBM, Applied Materials, AMD, Oracle, Mercedes-Benz, Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, ASML, Amazon, and Alphabet in this portfolio. And this other one is Eurostox. Like not every company, but you can simply search for Eurostox index and you'll find all of these companies. So again, if anyone is interested, they can have a look. And almost all of these companies are round about 5%. So am I investing in gold and silver? Yes, only in gold, but a very, very small amount. At this moment, I've only invested, I would say, like 67, 68 euros. So it's not that big of an amount, but I'll keep this pie for the next couple of years. So this amount will definitely increase. I want to cover two questions that I got. One question already covered about taxes and how would one go about filing taxes if someone is investing in trading 212. Another question I got was about lump sum investing. So someone sent me a question using the newsletter. They said that they have 50,000 euros that they want to invest in lump sum, and they are already investing in gold, ETFs, and certain individual stocks. So if someone has this much amount as a lump sum, if I were in their position, I would really look into real estate because this is something that's, I would say, if you have like 50,000 lump sum, then it's obviously your salary is high, you have a really high savings rate. So that's why you're having 50,000 lump sum. So I would really look into real estate. And if real estate is not an option, then I would definitely look into spreading these things in equal amounts relative to my current portfolio. So let's say if I'm invested in 50% in ETFs, 25% in stocks, and 20% in gold and 5% in cryptocurrencies, then I would like not invest like direct advice for you. But if I were in your case and if I were in your shoes, I would definitely divide it according to my current portfolio. It's not a great thing to directly invest in a specific stock if I don't have any research behind it. Can we buy fractional shares on Trading 212 without savings plan? Yes, you can definitely buy fractional shares. For example, let's say Microsoft, and you can either give a value. So for example, for 1 euros, you'll get 0.0024, for 10, for 100, and 1,000, which I don't have in cash right now. So yes, you can buy fractional shares with Trading 212. But again, I would really recommend not to buy ETFs right now because it's going to be quite a big of a hassle when you are declaring your taxes. Another question was from someone who asked about private pension plans. So they wanted me to answer why is it beneficial for someone to invest in private pension plans and why not just in ETFs. Private pension plan investing is really optimal for those people who have a really high income. Let's say if you are single and have like 65, 70,000 euros, or if you're married like 75, 80,000 euros, then you can definitely take advantage of the tax benefits because those private pension plans are taking your brutto salary or your before taxes salary, and those like this amount is directly invested in ETFs or whatever individual stocks, however your plan is distributed. And then this is a before taxes thing, and you pay a very very small amount in taxes. So this money goes directly in your pension plan. If you're having less salary, then it's not that much of a benefit. If you are earning 50, 55,000 euros, you don't get that good of a tax benefit. So it's always like a balancing act between people who want to optimize their taxes, who want to stay long term in Germany and want to stay invested, are really interested in optimizing their taxes. So this is something. And you can always do both of these things in parallel if your salary is quite high. If you're interested, I've made many videos with David from Invertas. He's a great guy. You can always get your free consultation with him. It's not mandatory to like buy a private pension right after you have a free consultation with him. So I always recommend go talk to him if you are a high earner, like 70, 75,000 euros per year, and are interested in staying in Germany in the long term, then it's a great thing. And even if you're not thinking of staying in Germany for a very long time, but you're a high earner, even then it's a good option to really look into private pension plans because of the tax optimization.